Hi, my friends. It's been a few days since I was able to put some recordings online. Over the last few days, there have been growing concerns about relationship issues. Prior to this lockdown, people were all looking forward to spending time with family and kids and relatives and things like that. But with this extended lockdown, it seems that there has been, or there is, at least for a few people, issues in relationships and the way things are happening around the household, which is a very unfortunate thing. Maybe our focus is not in the right way. Maybe we are looking at things in a different self perspective rather than from a different perspective of someone else. In people's lives there are really just a few things that really matter. If you were to categorize things, it would all basically fall into 6-7 different categories where things matter, whether it's your work, whether it's your personal life or yourself, whatever it be. Unfortunately, we tend to spend a lot of time focusing on stuff which is insignificant, irrelevant. If you ask somebody at home or even yourself, what's happening in so-and-so Bollywood person's life, they would know everything. But yet, if you were to be questioned about certain likes, dislikes, or whatever else about your own family or close friends or whatever it is, you would have no idea of what's going on, or you wouldn't have in-depth knowledge about this. This is a sure recipe for a disaster coming your way. I mean, we tend to even overlook our own bodies. The way we look at ourselves, the way we treat ourselves, and the way we handle our own lives. What's the point of having all the money, all the wealth, all the richness when we are really in our graves? It has no value at all, right? There are basic factors which contribute towards well-being of ourselves, our relationships, and that's the energy, vitality, and the strength that we bring to the table, and that we can energize one another with. Emotions are something that really define everything. If you're in an angry state of mind, if you're in a joyful state of mind, if you're in a contemplative state of mind, our reactions and behavioral patterns are completely different. Relationships, you and me know very well that this is the biggest factor that brings that energy, that excitement, those juices into your life. Yet, we don't make this into a priority of our lives. We tend to dabble in these kind of relationships. We don't give it the importance that it should have in our lives. Having myself traveled over 94, 95 countries in the world, interacted with God knows how many kind of people, and at different levels, grassroots level, blue collar workers, the rich people and whoever, and things. People can actually be, essentially the needs and things are more or less the same. And if you were to put them in different categories, there would probably be only 4, 5, 6 categories in which you can have. There are people who want to be, let's say, certain in life. Everything in their life has to be a certainty, which brings that security to themselves. My friend, people who are looking at this kind of a life are so predictable they don't bring about any change, they don't bring about any variation, they don't bring about any excitement into their lives. Then there are other people who believe in the uncertainty. They like the variation, they like the momentum, they like the spice of life, so to speak. Then there are others who want to be like significant. Significance is important to them. They want to be known as somebody. And in today's time and age, where there is so much of this media stuff that's going on, Instagram and Facebook and you name it, and where there is all the facade, the fake stuff that's going on. Yet, the need to be significant is there in their lives. Then, of course, there are other factors that come in, which is how you contribute, or the love factors and things. But when you finally zero down into this thing, most people want to be significant, or they look at certainty. In both cases, you are not looking at being relevant, being creative, doing things differently, adding. These are people who are dabblers. They are not people who are committed. They are not people who are putting in all their energy into the things. Whatever it be, your own self, your business, your relationships, your job, whatever it is. I have handled how many people in my coaching sessions, and having brought people back into, so to speak, sanity, to understand that you don't need to be dabblers. You need to be a person who's involved, being creative in everything else. Because if you're a dabbler, you're going to be able to achieve what you think is good. Everybody's looking at, say, Mukesh Ambani, or looking at the Tatas, or looking at the big, rich and famous kind of people. How many of us really get there? How many of us will really get there? 1%, 2%, much less than that. So we need to get real. We need to understand realities of life. That in getting all the wealth, getting all that, what we call our desires and fulfillment of the material world, there is also that factor of fulfillment. Just because you have got all the wealth, just because you've got all the worldly kind of comforts, does that mean to say that you are fulfilled? Very, very few of us understand this. Very, very few of us reach a state where you can be fulfilled in your life. A classic example, if I were to give, was, what's this guy's name? I mean, that famous actor, comedian, Robin Williams. He had everything that he wanted to. On stage, off stage, wherever it is, he got what he wanted. But what happened at the end of the day? He went and hung himself because there was no fulfillment. He had all the riches, all the comforts of life, but there was no fulfillment within himself. And that's because we're just looking at the insignificant stuff in life. We're not giving it our best. We are all looking at it, what's in it for me? What do I get out of it? We don't try to look at it from a different person's perspective. And it's important to look at that. In this particular context which I was talking about, is where the family is concerned. You're only looking at what am I getting, and not contributing. It's only expectations. What am I going to get out of my wife or my husband or my children or my in-laws or whatever it is? Where is your contribution? And this, my friend, is something that is growing and pushing people apart with each other. Where we should be enjoying and creating things together, we are just pushing each other. We're getting on the nerves of each other, which is what I said. We are not allowing our emotions to operate on a level of enjoyment, of seeing things in a different way. Just look around the creation that you have. Whether it's the animals, the plant kingdom, or whatever, there's so much of joy, there's so much of happiness, but yet we are dabbling into things which are not going to give us that happiness, that fulfillment. And I want to be able to help people who have the time, the energy, and want to invest in their own lives, in getting that, in understanding this. So please feel free, like I keep saying, and continue to give me those calls, right? And we'll fix up those appointments, and like I said, do it on the phone, do it online, do it whichever way, one-on-one once the meetings, this lockdown is over. And I would really encourage you to take heed of this and use this opportunity to be able to look at life differently, right? So give me a call, my friends. You have all my the email address and phone numbers and things. At any time, I'm available. So till next time, my friends, as always, keep safe, be healthy, and stay blessed. Namaste.